can't stand this shit.
Shut up.
See, at least I have enough respect when I smoke. I go outside.
Yeah, of course. You can't smoke cigarettes in the house. What kind of animal you think I am?
Look at you. You're a fucking bear. Yogi. Yogi.
All right. Hey.
Oh.
What's up, man? Bam. Hello, punks. This is Bobby Pickles coming to you pre-recorded from the armpit of Connecticut. I'm here with my business associate, Tone Loki, and music theory extraordinaire, my homie from high school, Nick Ameen. What's up, Nick Ameen?
Happy freaking New Year's, Bobby Pickles.
Happy freaking New Year's. You're recording over there at your casa, right?
Yeah, I'm down in South Jersey.
But you are recording. You're correct. You're recording. You're already going on the GarageBand.
Yeah, it's all going. I got my condenser mic all set up. I'm talking to you on Google Hangouts. It's happening.
That's right. Hey, what kind of what kind of condenser microphone do you got there? That's sweet, dude.
That's a V63M. I actually got it for Christmas last year, so I've had it for a year now, and very happy with it.
What am I talking on, Tony?
You're on a Shure SM7B.
Oh, and what's that? My what?
That's your condenser microphone.
And?
That some asshole got you for a Christmas present this year.
Yeah, that asshole is who?
That asshole would be me.
Wow. Good, well, thank you. Merry Christmas to you, Tony. I really appreciate this fucking awesome condenser mic. I think it's the one that Mark Maron uses or whatever. And
yeah, I love his podcast. Fucking awesome.
What's that?
I love his podcast. It's awesome.
I know. I love his podcast. Nick, I love you, man. You are awesome. Thank you so much for adding to my podcast and being the best sound guy. That's, we're recapping our first year of doing this podcast. It started with me and Bob Noxious, and we're left with one Bob, unfortunately. And,
which is still one too many.
Yep. And Nick and me, man, since day one, you created the fucking theme song, right?
Yep.
And you've contributed numerous songs throughout the year in your crazy winter project.
Nick and Loki show.
What are you saying?
I'm telling Nick it should be the Nick and Loki show.
I like it. While Bobby goes on vacation for a year.
Yeah. But thanks for derailing me. Anyway.
I'm good at that. Where are you going to derail yourself?
Hey, I'm glad you like the theme song.
Yeah, I'm glad. I love the theme song, and Nick, man, you're crazy over there in your crib in Atlantic City, and you're coming out with all these songs. They're fucking awesome. I don't know what else I could say about that, man. I mean,
thanks, bro.
You're the most talented musician I know.
Thanks so much, Bobby. It sucks not being able to be in a band because of so many reasons. It just wouldn't be fair to other band members if I even attempted to be in a band these days. But I'd still go fucking nuts not being able to create music. So I just do what I can. Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Did you kill it? You killed that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, dude, Nick Ameen, thanks so much for joining us in studio with emphasis on the air quotes, man. You're in your snowed out over basement down there in Atlantic City, like I said, but actually it's not so snowed over today, is it, man? It's been a warm winter so far this season.
I'm looking out the window right now, and I got clear, bright blue skies. It's a stark contrast to last year when it was snowed in.
Yeah. It's does that help with creativity to get snowed in like that?
When it's so cold outside that you don't even want to attempt to go outside. Yeah, might as well go down to the basement, pick up the guitar, and just fucking jam,
Hell yeah, man. It is awesome. I think it contributes to, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do when we move to Florida. It's so warm. It's hard to get work done.
You're gonna sling t-shirts. That's what you're going there for.
That's right. But it's a brand new year, man. This podcast, it drops on January 4th. And Nick, I trust you and the fam had an outstanding Christmas and New Year's. Thank you for joining us on the show this week. We're going to sum up the year 2015 in punk rock music and how it relates to Dying Scene Radio, the podcast show.
Yeah, man. Congratulations on being on the air for a full year now.
That's right, man.
It's a crazy year.
1 year, 37 episodes in 2015.
That's a lot of editing.
It is a lot of editing. Can we figure out how much editing that is really quick on the fly? I know you're the mathematician.
All right, it normally takes about 2 days worth of editing.
No, it takes an entire day, about 8. Well, hold on. Let me truly about like let's just say
24 hours.
Like 20 hours.
20 hours of editing.
Yep.
So you've
37
edited
episodes.
about 600 hours so far. Six to 650 roughly.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of hours editing. Anyway, so we've interviewed shit crap ton of awesome punk rock artists, and we're gonna review some of the major news stories of the year. What?
Some awesome ones, some shitty ones.
Some awesome ones, some shitty ones. Yeah, we're gonna play music from the bands and guests who we featured on the show this year. Anyway, Tony. So first, let's discuss this week's big news story, though, man. Lemmy. We got to talk about this.
Lemmy is God.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah. What?
You know, there are so many bands out there that would not exist without Motorhead, and I thought it was interesting that Metallica this week came out and said if it wasn't for Lemmy, there would be no Metallica. That is not an exaggeration. And it's funny because there are so many bands that wouldn't exist without Metallica. So that's just an example of how important Motorhead's music was.
Nick,
Exactly.
You wouldn't exist without Metallica.
This is true.
So actually, the show's theme is directly related to Lemmy, right? In a sick way. If we do the 7 fucking what's it called? Of
7
Kevin
degrees.
Bacon. If we do the
6
7
degrees of
degrees,
separation.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever the fuck it's called.
6 degrees of Lemmy.
Yeah,
Tony already summed it up best though. Lemmy is God.
that's right. And why is he God? Why? Let's explain. Okay, he's been credited for influencing punk rock and metal. Is that right?
Combining them, yes.
And okay, so and living an insane lifestyle.
He lived how the fuck he wanted.
And never apologizing for it, always doing it, and just saying fuck it. And then even to the dying day, apparently they told him 2 days before that he had the aggressive cancer, and he took it so well. He was just like, all right, he just knew it. He just died.
Oh, it's been a good ride, mate.
Yeah, there's something so sinister about that, so crazy.
He
So full of life.
He embodies rock and roll.
You saw what Ozzy Osbourne tweeted?
See you on the other side.
Yes.
Yep. Lost one of my best friends, Lemmy, today. He'll be sadly missed. He was a warrior and a legend. I will see you on the other side. And then he also wrote a little piece that was, I think it was posted to, shit, didn't I get that? It was posted to Rolling Stone magazine. Ozzy Osbourne remembers Lemmy. He said that he was his hero. So, some kind words. Some people on Facebook, they were saying some weird stuff though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna out the musician, but there was a musician who we've actually I think we talked to him before.
Yeah.
But he was questioning, why people like Lemmy, like what the big deal was. He had only one hit in the 80s that you could remember offhand, Ace of Spades. That's what he said. And with all due respect, please provide me with some comments about why he was so awesome.
He influenced everybody.
Yeah.
He did so much work with Ozzy Osbourne. He gave his all at every fucking show up to the dying day. His last show when he walked off stage in Austin was like, I can't do this. He was still rocking hard. And he was like, you know what? I'm done. And unfortunately, he had not been back on stage since.
Yeah.
But he gave it his all.
That's right. I read a piece on Facebook. I don't remember where it came from, but it was the 15 insane tales from a legendary life of
I think that
Lemmy.
was Billboard.
What's that?
I think that was Billboard.
Yeah, it was badass, man. While in one of his early 60s ensembles, the Rocking Vickers, Lemmy hadn't discovered the thrills of self-indulgence yet, but that didn't stop him from having a few out-of-this-world experiences. In 1966, we were coming back over the Yorkshire moors, which incidentally was before I even drank beer, so it couldn't have been some acid flashback, he told Inked. This thing came over the horizon and stopped dead in the middle of the sky. Then it went from a standstill to top speed immediately. We don't even have aircraft that do that now. Never mind then. So that was pretty eye-opening for me. He actually wrote some. I think he was probably referring to a song off his new record, man, Bad Magic, Victory or Die. It has some lyrics in there.
It does mention
this.
that.
Yeah.
It does mention. Well, Lemmy's been through so much.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a song that we played at the top of the podcast show, introducing the show, Victory or Die. And he talks about that a little bit. So, John Bradbury of the Specials passed away as well. Do you know about him or anything like that? The Specials?
Yeah, I heard. I don't know any of their music, but I heard it was the day after Lemmy. I think I actually sent you the link.
Yeah. What about you, Nick?
No, I failed to do my research on that topic before.
Do you know who the Specials are?
Yeah, I mean, I can't pick up my guitar and play any of their songs for you.
Yeah, but they actually influenced like a whole fucking bunch of ska motherfuckers. I'm so high right now. Holy shit. Dude, Tim Armstrong has credited the Specials as influencing him and stuff. Like the Specials are reggaeton. What is it? Not reggaeton, but what the fuck? It was what's the first one? God damn it! You're making me do research right now.
I'm not familiar with it.
This fucking ska, man. God damn it.
I see now why you do so much editing.
Yeah, now I'm gonna edit this all. I'm gonna edit all this. Yeah, sorry.
I'm looking it up too. The Specials.
Yeah, I'm doing it too right now. Two-tone.
Two-tone.
Two-tone?
There you go. That's right. Two-tone. Anyway.
Two-tone. I thought one tone was enough.
Waka waka waka. That was a good, quick, witty, fucking joke. Thank you. Anyway,
I think anyone would instantly recognize their logo though. The black and white, the guy wearing the suit.
Right. Who else died this year? Anybody else die?
Scott Weiland.
That's right.
Who else? It's a pretty big one. I know you talked at great length on a previous episode about Scott Weiland.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Actually, I was in the car the other day driving from New Jersey to Maryland, and back to back we heard a Stone Temple Pilots song and an Alice in Chains song. I was like, oh man, two fucking awesome bands whose singer was claimed by heroin.
Yeah. Yeah, those were great bands growing up. I loved Alice in Chains.
Weiland turned out his autopsy
and Stone Temple Pilots.
Anyway. Yeah, showed no heroin. It was coke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, man.
Yeah, when you mix the coke with like some, if you take like a downer like Xanax, something as simple as that, a lot of people die from that.
Yeah.
After doing coke, like
speedballs.
Yeah, people will do coke all night, and then you take Xanax, and then that fucks your heart up, and you die. Yeah. So.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Can't do that, Nick. Next time you're doing
cocaine, I just love the way it smells.
I stay away from all that stuff.
The biggest thing I think, man, for punk rock was losing Brandon Carlisle, though. Don't you feel? I mean, I feel like that. Teenage Bottle Rocket. That was the craziest shit. He was so young, he was like 37 years old and just died randomly right after Fest 14.
Yeah, you talk about people like Scott Weiland and Lemmy, who they have some years on them and a lot of miles from the road. But yeah, you look at Teenage Bottle Rocket, and they were young, man.
Yeah,
too soon.
I only put 3 tracks on the playlist this week, man. A band who we didn't get to feature on the show this year. We played the first at the top of the show. This one's the second, but we actually could have featured these guys if Ben Coletti didn't get a hold of my gumption when I was down for Fest 14 earlier in the year.
Coletti strikes again. Outstanding.
Yeah, man, you can't get anything done when you're around him. You just have to drink,
Yeah, when in Rome.
By the way, once again, I'm sorry for my behavior at Fest 14, the mass intruder debacle and all that shit. I actually stood next to Brennan Carlisle, who I was just mentioning, at the show at Prefest. As we watched Mass Intruder perform at Prefest in Ybor City, that would be his second to last show. They performed without Cody Templeton, but I was way too intoxicated to conduct an interview anyway, even though I did have all my recording equipment in my backpack. What?
You intoxicated? No.
Yep. Yeah, no, with Coletti, dude. Coletti was running around with a shirt that had his face printed on it.
Oh, sore-faced.
Yeah. I mean, you imagine that? And you looked like the fucking guy. Wilson.
But you intoxicated? Never.
Castaway Coletti?
Castaway Coletti. Oh, that's a good one.
Some alliteration for you.
Yes, alliteration. Perfect.
An alliteration for the illiterate?
Yeah.
Do you know what alliteration is, Tony?
When the same word starts with the same letter? Well,
yeah, group of words.
Yeah, start with the same letter.
Good, perfect, awesome. Okay. But so anyway, I was also gonna play a different song off their most recent record, Tales from Wyoming, which dropped on March 27th of last year. I understand, Nick Ameen, man, you probably would have preferred the song They Call Me Steve, but I chose a different number.
Well, I think we've all heard that song a lot. The Minecraft song they did, They Call Me Steve. At least I've heard it a lot because as soon as I told my son that there's a rock song about Minecraft with a video to go along with it, it was on repeat for a while. So yeah, let's hear something different.
All right, yeah. This is Teenage Bottle Rocket with their track Nothing Else Matters When I'm With You on Dying Scene Radio.
Hooah!
Okay. All right, so yeah, I got a little stoned, man, and I'm definitely high, but we'll get through this, man. All right, here we go. Ready?
You're coming to my retirement party, right?
When's that?
10 years.
Okay. I'll set the alarm. Boom! I'll set the alarm. Hey, that right there was the alarm. It's wake up, Nick, man. In 10 years, it's gonna be on. You're gonna join a punk band. That was California punkers Lavasa with another track off their record Quest, which dropped back on March 14th of last year. We featured those guys back on episode number 8. Bob uncovered that the band's new bass player at the time, Kevin Johnson, was a former DS editor, Left Coast KJ. But anyway, before that, we played No Cares by Canadian oi band Out of Order, who we featured back on episode number 5 of the podcast. You remember those guys, right?
I actually like those guys. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're awesome. They are awesome.
Yeah,
they're a good, solid oi band.
What are the best bands you've featured on here?
Entropy New York was before that with their track So It Goes, which was the title of their 2015 LP. That was recorded on April 3rd at Nada Studios in New Windsor, New York, and released on April 6th. Just a quick weekend session. Hardly any editing, and they dropped it immediately. So that was pretty cool, huh? They they went in, they did a really fast one, hardly any editing, like I have to do. They didn't do 600 hours worth of editing, and just drop that shit. That's what punk rock's supposed to be, dude. I should leave all this crap in there. I should leave that whole thing where we were Googling fucking, what was it that we were Googling, by the way? I'm stoned? All right, yeah, tune tone.
Or what extra tone?
One tone plus one tone.
That's right. That's right.
Sometimes you get the best results that way. I'm old school at that. I like it raw.
Absolutely. Do you ever do that, Nick? When you're coming up with you edit a lot too. You shouldn't be fucking with me, man. Actually, you edit a shitload, don't you?
Well, we were talking about the album that I made last winter, Project Winter.
Yes.
That was a huge step away from my normal process because I went in and I just tried to make it as raw as possible. Because usually I do let my OCD kick in and do like multiple takes. I want to get it as perfect as possible. This one, I just tried to crank it out. I just cranked them out as fast as I could because I wanted to make a punk album, and I'm not going to Pro Tools it to death. So that's kind of what happened.
Dude, you know what? The Polak, who's another business associate who lives here at the T-shirt compound, he came up with a great idea. Speaking of OCD, OCDC, a takeoff of ACDC. But like, how can we make How can we make OCDC? How can it has to be ACDC like, but being crazy and like OCD somehow,
It has
right?
to be like math metal, like technical progressive metal versions of AC/DC songs.
Yeah, I don't know how to make that a T-shirt. We have to make this a T-shirt somehow. But it's a good idea, right?
OCDC, you have Angus Young just like, I don't know, arranging something.
Yeah, exactly. How about him with a Rubik's cube? No, that wouldn't say it. Fuck. What would symbolize being OCD? All right, we'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have an answer before the podcast ends.
Maybe, hopefully.
So,
you're onto something there.
Anyway, of course, we have to mention your work, Nick Ameen, because the second track in that set came by way of South Jersey. That was your track, Spike the Punch, for which I believe you just made a music video for, ripping off scenes from Back to the Future 2, allegedly. You wrote an entire...
Back to the Future 1 and 2.
Okay, yeah. What was the deal with that, man? Pretty cool.
Something came about where I saw this interesting article where it's like they're analyzing Back to the Future. It said Biff spikes the punch, George McFly drinks the punch, and then he gains the courage to punch Biff. I was like, that is so genius. I never like really thought about it that way. Rewatched the movies like during last winter when I was doing this whole album, and decided to make a song about it. So there you go, Spike the Punch. But yeah, I actually just made that video last night. I ripped the DVDs and just edited it down and into the 2.5 minutes. So that's on YouTube now.
Cool. People can find it on your YouTube.
YouTube.com/Nick Ameen.
Nice. Okay, so I guess we should get into some news really quick. I'll start off with some before we're going to go into some 2015 news we'll talk about, but let's do another recent news story. As you may know by now, there is a photo of Amir. What the fuck?
4 of the 5 members left.
Oh yeah. Let's just talk. I'm not going to read it. Fucking. Did you hear what happened with Amir? Do you even know who that band is, Nick?
Yeah,
by the way?
Yeah, I listened to a lot of their stuff actually. And
do you know what happened?
Yeah, four of the members decided to quit all at the same time, leaving Frankie, the frontman, all alone on an island.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think it was like Guitar Memes shared a funny ass photo where they took the official band photo with all 5 guys.
Yeah.
They photoshopped it so that all 5 members had Frankie's face. So it was pretty funny, man. You should look at that.
What's his name? His name's Frankie Palmieri.
Yeah.
He actually issued a statement stating explicitly that this is by no means the last of Amir. There is, in fact, a new lineup right now, and we are currently working on a new studio album. Details about all of that will come to light as the weeks and months progress. So,
well, they're a popular band. I'm sure there are guitarists and drummers out there lining up for a spot, a chance to be in there.
Were all those guys the original members?
Man, I don't know. So many bands have a revolving door of members, just like a Megadeth.
I know. Don't even get me started, man. I figured that out this first year of the podcast. Everybody's like that.
Yeah. You ever go on a band's Wikipedia page and look at the timeline of members?
Oh, my God. Yeah, of course.
It's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially when you got guys leaving and then coming back and then leaving and coming back again, You
have some people that just contribute on a part-time basis.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Yeah. Yes. The studio sessions. Yeah.
Emir's latest album, Eternal Enemies, came out in April 2014 via Victory Records. I mentioned that because Victory Records was in the news big time this year. They sued Streetlight Manifesto for more than $1 million.
Why?
Did you hear that?
I did not hear that.
Yeah. Well, actually, for more than $1 million. Why? I can read like a little caption of this article. News coming across the wire from the California-based legal clearinghouse courthouse news service. It seems the head honchos of Victory Records continue to have a hair across their collective proverbial asses about Streetlight Manifesto. How big a hair, you ask? A fucking $1 million hair. That's how big. According to the lawsuit, Victory Records has Streetlight Manifesto frontman Thomas Kalnaki as the primary target in their crosshairs because of the fact that the band didn't hold up their end of a decade-plus-old contract that called for them to release 4 studio albums. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what happened. They were supposed to release 4 studio albums, but they actually released 5. But one was like a greatest hits, and then one was a re-recording of Kalnaki's last band. So because of that, they said those didn't count.
Two of them didn't count as official studio albums.
Yeah, isn't that fucked up?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of money on the line. I can kind of see both ways, you know.
Yeah.
But $1 million.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I wonder what they would have actually stood to gain from another studio album.
do you think $1 million?
The label? I don't know.
Maybe. I guess. Is there? I didn't think there was money like that in music anymore, though.
All the money's on touring.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue with the news, man. Boston punk act Street Dogs recently announced that the city of Boston has recognized their years of representing their city by creating Street Dogs Day. Mayor Martin J. Walsh made the official proclamation for December 18th. You could see the band's post about the new holiday on their Facebook page. Street Dogs last released a 10-inch split with Noise in April 2014 through Pirate Press Records. So, but that's pretty cool, man. They got a picture of it, and it shows the certificate from the mayor. It says, at this time, we would like to thank Boston Mayor Martin J. Walsh for honoring us with his proclamation that today is Street Dogs Day in the city of Boston. We're humbled and honored by this recognition and are very proud to call the city of Boston our home. So, they were in the news big time this year when they fought a bunch of neo-Nazis at their St. Patrick's Day show in California. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
You didn't hear about that either?
No.
Nick? No?
No.
In Anaheim, California, there's a group of neo-Nazis. They try to instigate fights, and they try to roughhouse all kinds of people of color in the pit. And then
That ain't cool.
frontman Mike
McColgan.
took notice and told the audience that anyone who discriminates against people based on their color should get the fuck out because it's not 1939 anymore. And the band continued with their set, but then, the fucking neo-Nazis kept doing it, fucking around. And so basically the Street Dogs went into the pit and started fucking up the neo-Nazis. That was pretty well-read article on dyingscene.com this year.
Hey, I'm trying to remember if did Dropkick Murphys ever get their own day in Boston?
I don't think so. They deserve it.
They deserve it?
They deserve it.
Yeah?
They've been around forever. You know where they got that name?
Do Street Dogs not deserve it?
Murphys deserve it more.
Of course you're gonna say that. You're a naysaying prick. You know that, right?
No, I'm a fucking Dropkick Murphys fan, you stupid bastard. And you know this. You stupid cunt.
Man.
You've known him for 20 years, Nick?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Has it been that long?
Nick. Yeah.
20 years.
My
How did we
condolences,
meet?
Nick.
When did we meet, Nick?
I want to say that I was 15. And I'm about to turn 35. So there you go.
My condolences.
There's one in every group, so.
He came over to Brandon Clark's house.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Brandon Clark?
What's up, Brandon Clark? He came over to Brandon Clark's house. I was over there. We were watching TV, and then we started a band. And then I sucked at bass, so they kicked me out. And then they got this guy, Josh
You
Lukowski.
suck at life.
He got our friend who we grew up with also, Josh Lukowski, replaced me. And then, that was it, right? That's a summed up version. But
every time I come on the show, you bring up the fact you bring the story up. Yeah.
It's true because it was fucked up, Nick. I just want to tell you
Because
that.
you suck at life?
Huh?
Because you suck at life?
You guys could have given me a chance to get better, man, in practice. Anyway.
I got outvoted. Pure and simple.
Yep. All right.
I wanted you to stay in.
All right, so we're going to keep this in sequential order, man. We featured these guys in episode 11 of the show. They're two Mormon missionaries living in South Central Los Angeles with their robot, whose name is Robot.
I fucking love this band, and I have you to thank.
Yeah.
For introducing me to them.
They are
the
videos.
craziest musical act I've ever seen.
They have awesome videos. I love their videos. That's like the best thing about them is the storylines that go behind all this. You know?
Yeah, I know you're not playing this song, but the music video for Diabolical is one of the best things I've ever seen, ever.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. But you guys gotta check it out. Go Google. Fuck, man, Mom's going nuts with this. All right. Yeah. What are you laughing about? I said, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Bobby's mom.
She does all the pricing for fatenzo.com. And if you want a t-shirt, send an email to mom@fatenzo.com and she'll get you taken care of, right?
Correct.
Hey Bobby, remember when I was 16 and I came by your house to pick you up and somehow your mom saw the cooler of beer in the car and she confiscated all of it?
I heard the story.
After we went to great lengths to purchase beer underage. Dude,
I told you, and I was still mad when we brought this up. When I was talking to Mom, remember about this? And I said, I'll never forgive you for that. That was fucked up. It was. I mean, there's such thing as
a lot of booze.
There's such thing as tough love, but that was fucked up, man. Because we had right, dude. You and Beth actually were there.
She kept the cooler too.
And you're still with Beth after all that time. Look at this.
That's impressive. 20
years. Yeah. I've been friends with you as long as you've been going out with Beth.
I met you first.
Yeah, but I mean it wasn't long thereafter. So
yeah.
But anyway, going back to Tartar Control, you
didn't even say the name of the band yet. Tartar Control.
Yeah, Tartar Control. They have a robot whose name is Robot, and he plays the drums and the bass. Okay, and that's their shtick. And Sean and Robert, they're the only human band members, and they're Mormon missionaries. And Robert does most of the yelling, and Sean plays his guitar in mainly drop D. So I thought that was interesting. Mainly drop D.
Yeah, and they look like such nice boys.
Just using one finger. See, despite his musician handicap, he hung in there and he figured it out. Right?
Well, they're making a living off sucking.
What's that?
They're making a living off sucking.
Yeah, and so do you.
That would be your job. I saw you on Pornhub.
This next track is off their record, We Forgive You, which dropped back in April of 2015. This is Tartar Control with their track, My God's Cock. My God's Cock on Dying Scene Radio. Okay. All right, so coming back from that, ready? That right there was the California female-fronted punk band Bad Cop with their track Nightmare off their debut record Not Sorry, which was released back in June on Fat Records.
You say female-fronted, but they're all female.
Oh man, yeah, you're right.
All four of them.
All four of them. They're an entire female band punk band.
You're a stupid bastard, aren't you?
Yeah, I get so used to saying female-fronted because that's usually how it is.
Because you fell in love with the Bomb Pops.
The Bomb Pops. Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely. They're the best. You know who they are?
No.
Okay.
But Bad Cop has some awesome three-part harmonies going on. I love it.
Bad Cop is the shit. They're awesome. Lead singer, guitarist Jenny was gracious enough to grant the Bobs, me and Bob Noxious, an interview back on episode number 18 of the podcast. That was the follow-up episode to our groundbreaking epic co-hosting venture with Ben Weasel, frontman of Screeching Weasel, who incidentally we played prior to that track right there. That was Things Aren't So Bad After All. That's actually my favorite song of the year, man, from my favorite album of the year.
It's insane that
they really didn't get enough
putting out albums to this day. They've been together for like longer than we've been alive.
That's right. I told the story to Ben Weasel on the show about how I went to go get a tattoo, my first tattoo, before I had even had a tattoo. I was 14.
That's usually how it works. You get your first tattoo before
Well, no,
you
but
even
it's
have a
right.
tattoo.
Yeah, but I got my first tattoo when I was like 14. But I went right before, like, I had to find the person who was going to tattoo me, who was going to agree to tattoo an underage person. And I went to the tattoo shop, and I wanted to get the Screeching Weasel logo. And I mean, I guess I could say thank God that didn't happen. But you know what? I would have loved it still. I wish I had gotten this tattoo instead of the other one I got.
The king of the shitty tattoos.
But yeah, you said come back when your balls drop. So.
Hey, you still haven't seen him.
Yeah, I told that to Ben Weasel, man, on episode number 18 of the podcast. Go check that out. So,
he was held up in his old farmhouse or something for that episode, wasn't
he? Yeah, at his, I guess, quote unquote, air quotes, farmhouse in Madison, Wisconsin. He was in studio, just like you are, Nick. And I use the emphasis on the air quotes again when I say that. But but getting back to that song, man, Things Aren't So Bad After All. That was my favorite song of the year off of I think the best album of the year, really. I mean, it's 60 minutes. You know what that means in punk rock?
It's an hour.
Yeah, but that's a long time, man. That's a lot of songs. It's a lot of music. And they didn't get enough love or respect for that record, man. That's called Baby Fat Act 1. It was the first legitimate punk rock opera, which comes along with a full libretto.
I think Tommy has that beat.
No, but that's not really. I mean, I know that they give influence.
If it wasn't for the Who, there would be no punk.
But this is legitimately a punk rock opera.
I wouldn't consider Tommy like a punk rock opera. It's definitely a rock opera.
Right, but the Who is punk.
Well, there's a lot of history to that goes along with this, Nick. You haven't been nerding out on punk music stuff for the last year, but basically the Who gave a lot of influence to punk, and a lot of people even say like they might have been the first punk band or whatever. But anyway, so that record, Baby Fat, it's based on the opera Rigoletto, which I watched the Luciano Pavarotti version online early in the afternoon that day prior to conducting the show with Ben. And then like Nick was talking about before, Ben joined us in studio, air quotes, just like Nick Ameen, from his farm, also with air quotes, in Madison, Wisconsin.
What is the girl on this farm?
Oh yeah, he said alfalfa or some shit like that. But then he confided with us that that's all bullshit. He says that to people a lot. It's like an inside joke. He'll tell people that shit, and it's all bullshit. So I don't know where he was talking to us from, but hey, he was talking to us all the same, and we had a solid recorded MP3 of his voice, just like you gave us. You're provide us with. So Ben talked a lot of shit on that episode, man, but he was awesome, and I got to meet him backstage at Screeching Weasel's concert at Webster Hall in New York City. So that was a fucking dream come true. Think about me as a 14-year-old kid going in for a Screeching Weasel tattoo, balls dropped. Your
balls haven't dropped yet.
Now I get to see him.
It's crazy though. You're the amount of opportunities you've gotten from hosting this podcast.
Yep, it is pretty awesome,
man.
Yeah. Kudos to me.
Yep.
It's too bad Bob Noxious couldn't make it through to the other side. But I wish him a happy New Year all the same. I've been listening to his Loud Fat Shitty podcast ever since he quit the show earlier in the year. But
I saw his band Pigpen just had some sort of CD release party for New Year's down in
That's
Tampa
right.
Bay.
That's right. Check it out, Pigpen. They I think they just came out with a new record. I don't know what it's called or anything like that, but they did. So before
I had the pleasure of collaborating with him on a song. It was a loose cover of Ozzy's Diary of a Madman. Remember, Bob said, "Let's do a cover of that. We'll call it Diarrhea of a Mailman."
Yes.
That's up there on my SoundCloud page.
I know. I forgot in which episode we talked about that and came up with that idea.
It was early.
Yeah, it was early on, but that was great. So before that, we played the Aggressives with their track Problems, which came off their debut. And that's another air quotes again, guys, because they're really not new. They just used to be called something else. But that was their self-titled record that dropped back in May of last year. We featured those guys back on episode number 13 on that. And on that episode, I discovered that the lead singer lives on York Avenue in Staten Island, New York. What a coincidence! And yeah, just like you said, Tony, a fucking shithole.
A total fucking shithole.
Well,
right.
on which avenue did you live when you were there in Staten?
York Avenue.
That is a shithole.
That's the same. He lived on the same street that I lived on. And Nick Ameen, coincidentally, again, you came and visited Tone Loki and I when we were
in the shithole.
Yeah.
It was a nice shithole.
I crashed the night at said shithole.
That's right. Yeah.
Thanks for the hospitality.
Yeah, you slept on my bed with me in my shitty small little room. In that shithole.
I'm used to this from him, not from you. You're a married man for Christ's
Actually, after we went to go see the Dream Theater concert, man, then we met Dream Theater in person.
We had backstage passes to an evening with Dream Theater. That was sick.
They're going to be playing Radio City in, I believe, April.
I know. I want to go so bad. It's like $80, so probably not going to happen this time.
Yeah, but dude, that was talk a second about that really quick, man. That was awesome. The best you can. Could you sum that up? That was how you got the tickets and everything like that?
Well, we decided that we were going to that show anyway at the Hammerstein Ballroom, and then I made friends with a guy from a production company, Over the Edge Productions. They've done some work for Dream Theater, and I mentioned to him, "Oh yeah, I'm going to that show." He said, "Oh really? You and how many people? I'll get you on the list." And so when we got to the show, we went to Will Call, and sure enough, there was an envelope with my name on it. I couldn't even believe it. It's awesome. Mike Leonard was the guy. Good dude.
Yeah, then I brought my buddy Frankie.
He was cool.
Yeah, who lived on Staten Island. And he fucking was loving that, man, because he's a big metal nerd, like you as well. Yeah. And I'd call you that.
Yeah, I own that. I'm a metal nerd.
You are.
I like all sorts of music, but Dream Theater is probably up there as one of my favorite bands, just because of how insanely talented they are.
Most talented band you'll ever find.
They're so talented, though, Nick. I gotta confess, man. I mean, but watching them in concert, the songs are so fucking long that you kind of lose. I don't know. I love them. They're great.
They're not for everyone.
Yeah, definitely not.
Hey, you want to talk about rock operas? Today's January 2nd. On January 29th, their new album is dropping, and it's a 2-disc rock opera concept album called The Astonishing.
Thank you for that information.
Thank you. I'm going to be looking for that one.
It's going to be crazy.
Appreciate that information, Mr. Ameen.
Epic nerdiness.
Anyway, the second track in that set was from the Louisiana newly signed to Fat Wreck punk band Pears with their track Snowflake off their LP Letters to Meemaw, which dropped back in September of last year, man, 2015. 2016, guys, I can't believe it. The year of the monkey. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I was born on the year of the monkey, 1980.
You are a fucking monkey.
This is my fucking year, dude.
Have you looked in the mirror?
I'm gonna become a millionaire this year.
You're a monkey.
The year of the
monkeys don't get
monkey.
rich. Monkeys just throw shit at other people.
And you're moving back to South Florida. Good things. I expect good things from 2016. I'm moving this year too.
I know you are. I know.
I just don't know where.
Best thing from 2016, Nick. You're gonna love this. Guns N' Roses Coachella.
Oh man, Guns N' Roses was my first concert ever. I was in the 5th grade. My friend and I, his dad brought us, and it was Soundgarden opened up on their Bad Motorfinger tour, and GNR for Use Your Illusion, and that was at the Tropicana Field or whatever it was called back then in downtown St. Pete. So the fact that they're actually finally doing it after like a decade of rumors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 20 years apart.
And I saw them with my dad in fucking like Wisconsin or something like that, and it was Metallica and GNR with
Face Faith No
Like
More.
suicidal tendencies.
Okay, I saw that tour, but Faith No More was opening for them.
I forgot who. I think
Yeah.
it was suicidal tendencies.
No, Faith No More open on that tour.
On the East Coast part of it, I know they had Dice in California.
This was in like Wisconsin, though.
I'm not sure who they had in Wisconsin.
There's something called like Summer Series or something. I forgot. Anyway, it was in the summer.
That was a crazy tour when Metallica and Guns N' Roses toured together, because that's when James Hetfield got severely burned on stage.
Exactly, that was when he got burned on stage, and he had the cast on.
Yeah,
he had the cast on.
And then Guns N' Roses incited a riot somewhere in Canada
by not showing up.
Yeah, that's when all that shit was happening.
Yeah.
92.
I think Rage Against the Machine also. See, it blends together with other stuff that I've seen, like Lollapalooza. That whole time.
Yeah.
I think because I saw Rage Against the Machine at Lollapalooza also. So anyway, but getting back to it, the Pears, we featured them back on episode 12 of the podcast, which was the same episode where we featured Cock Sparrow.
Sparrow.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Loki saved me in that episode, actually, because if he wasn't there, I would have really looked like an asshole. That was the one. That was the interview.
Like, you don't look like an asshole now. Look at his face, Nick.
That was the interview that I conducted where I was the least
prepared,
informed. Yeah, everything, all of that. Because I don't know.
Man.
I guess I lose a lot of punk rock points, but I didn't really, know Cocksparrow.
Yeah, well, you come up to me, hey, I got an interview with Cocksparrow. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, who are they? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Tone Loki to the rescue.
Tone Loki was there. He was present. We met them in Williamsburg at the fucking Warsaw, the Polish venue.
Yeah.
And we interviewed them prior to their first New York City concert in 15 years. Yeah. And so you guys can check that out. That was on that same episode as the Pears. And Bob interviewed the Pears down in Florida when they came to see Petersburg. But dude, yeah, I'm a fucking retarded idiot.
At least you realize it finally. I've only been telling you that for how many years?
I really am retarded. I'm so retarded. Anyway, let me get to some news really quick before we get into some more music here. I want to talk about punk rock bowling. Lineups for the festival stages at the 18th annual Punk Rock Bowling and Music Festival have been announced. So, speaking of Cocksparrow, they're on the lineup, Loki.
Good. So we got to go see them.
Didn't you say you wanted to go to this fucking show?
I want to go to both of them.
This is the first year that they're going to be.
What's the venue?
Hold on. So basically, what is it? They're the 18th annual blah 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 music festival. It's Las Vegas, Nevada, from May 26th through 30th, and the inaugural debut of Punk Rock Bowling East, which takes place in Asbury Park, New Jersey, from June 10th to 12th, 2016. So you can go to two different ones. You don't have to go to the Vegas one. You can also go to Asbury Park if you want to. But I would like to go to the Vegas one. I don't know about
Asbury.
you. Yeah?
Asbury.
Why?
Asbury Park in June. Beautiful.
Fuck Vegas?
Fuck Vegas. I have a bad experience there, but that's a different story.
What happened?
That's not for the air.
Oh, God. What happened?
2 words turned into a life sentence.
What?
2 words turned into a life sentence. But you know the old saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So keep scrolling.
All right. Well, anyway, Saturday, May 28th on the festival stage, man. I don't want to go through all these, but Flag. What's Flag? Flag's like Black Flag?
I'm not sure.
They have all these spin-offs of Black Flag, apparently. But on Sunday, I guess, is the big one that I want to see. Descendants. Fucking Buzzcocks. Millencolin. The Dwarves. Dude. You hear that?
Millencolin.
Face to Face, man. Dag Nasty.
No, that's Monday, May 30th, okay?
Well, yeah,
oh, no, that's Monday, May 30th. Fuck. That's Monday, May 30th. I'm sorry. Yeah, but Face to Face. Flogging Molly. Dag Nasty.
Now let's see the Jersey lineup.
Agnostic Front.
Sick Waiting, who we had on a recent episode, right? Tone, you went with me for that one.
Yes.
Now in Asbury Park. The Descendants are on the Saturday show, June 11th. festival stage.
Dag Nasty.
Dag Nasty.
H2O.
Fuck yeah.
Humans. That'd be a good show, man.
June 12th, Coxbarra.
Yep.
Agnostic.
Sunday. Speaking of Coxbarra,
Yeah.
they're gonna be in Asbury Park. So check that out, man. That's the one to go to.
Yes.
That is the one to go to. Nick, maybe you'll go with us, Asbury Park punk rock bowling. We'll see what happens, right?
If I'm still living in New Jersey in the month of June, give me a press pass.
Yes. Okay. Now, what we're going to do right now is we're going to try to make a phone call to Sour Shoes, who is on the Howard Stern show, right?
Yes.
Call Sour Shoes.
Just play the.
Just come on, try it. Just try it, please. We have a backup. We're going to play his phone call. If not, I recorded a recent phone call with him. But just to give you a backstory, apparently a carryover. We like to do this episodic. We like to organize the show, right, and kind of carry over from the last show. So the last show we had Jarrett Reddick, who's the lead singer of Bowling for Soup. He was on here, right?
And the voice of Chuck E. Cheese. What?
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's
and
awesome.
so yeah, Jared, we were talking the first segment completely about Howard Stern and how we were complete Howard Stern nerds. But apparently, what?
Voicemail.
Voicemail?
Voicemail.
All right. Well, apparently we are Tone Loki keeps on coming out with these things as we get to know him better. And he keeps revealing things to us. And it's very interesting that, Tony, you grew up with this character, Sour Shoes, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
I first met Mike when I moved to Mayapack in 1987.
Okay.
I was in 7th grade. The kid has always been crazy like this.
Dude, by the way, let's recap some of the things that Tony has surprised me about over the years. Not only on the Dying Scene radio podcast, but Bobby Pickles podcast too. For one,
was in a House of Pain music video.
No.
Onyx.
Oh, it was Onyx?
Onyx.
Dude, he was in the Onyx music video for
Slam,
right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that for a second. Come on, man.
Summer 1993. I get a phone call. Hey, we need heads for a music video. You want to be down? There was only 6 white guys in the whole video out of 10,000 people.
All right, so right at 3 minutes.
3:07.
3 minutes and 7 seconds. If you pause it right there, there's Tone Loki as a young 18-year-old boy. Man, because you're a man at that point legally. Anyway.
The balls have dropped by then.
Oh yeah, my balls dropped at 12.
Yeah.
Bobby's still waiting.
Yep. So we're gonna play Sour Shoes. Wait. Okay. No. Hold on. So secondly, another thing that we discovered about Tony was Cop Stabber. Apparently, you wrote a song for them or something like that.
I inspired a song for them.
He inspired a song for the band, the Baltimore, Maryland band, Cop Stabber. I call it. I get it confused because they actually have a Coxsparrow logo that they make Cop Stabber. So that's
Bobby, you got cock on your mind. It's okay.
He always does.
You keep saying it. Actually, you got cock on your lips.
But anyway, Cop Stabber.
See?
Stop being a cock stabber. It's Cop. We know you want to spawn.
You fucking wrote a song for them or something.
Yes, Soberphobic. It started off as a one-liner on Facebook.
Okay.
For a while there, I was putting one-liner up after one-liner on Facebook. And one day, I just put up, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm sober-phobic as my status. Dave, the singer for Cop Stabber, is online. He sees it. He comments, he's like, holy shit, you're on fire today, yada, yada, yada. We're talking, going back and forth. I'm like, sober-phobic sounds like a great name for a punk band or a song. He's like, oh, shit. Next thing you know, my inbox indicator lights up. This is about 2010, I would say. And then we start going back and forth, and he's like, we're writing this song. We're writing this song.
Did he say, hey, homie, I already have, an entire verse written. I'm using that
pretty
as a
much,
song.
yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, he's like, all right, we wrote the music for it.
So that was a song called Soberphobic.
Yes.
That you can get off their most recent record, I think it is, or whatever. I forgot what it's called and stuff. Fuck. Hold on, now I gotta do this. God damn it.
Stab 'em all.
No, that was the first one.
No, the first one was whatever. Or sit down. Stab 'em all.
Stab 'em all. Soberphobic, which came out in 2012, man, on their record Stab 'em All. So yeah, I guess the timeline matches up, Tony. 2010, you say you're talking about it? Okay. So anyway, now Sour Shoes. This whole thing. So that was it. We played it just now. What the fuck, man? Dude, that's funny as shit. That's hilarious.
Mike,
You didn't, I don't know if you heard it, but basically these guys grew up together and they were going off about sports, and they both have a nerdy knowledge of sports. Actually, mainly Yankees knowledge. Is that
pretty
right?
much, yeah.
Yeah. And so they go off, and then Sour Shoes gets on and he's playing music. Nick, he's doing all the shit that he does on the Howard Stern show, basically. And we just recorded it early one morning. Sour Shoes, Tone, I guess, got back in touch with Sour Shoes very recently.
Yeah.
And you left a couple of messages on his mom's answering machine.
41.
A lot of things haven't changed for him either. He's still living with his parents.
He's 41, never moved out of his mom's house, drives the same car he did in high school. He is Al Bundy without the wife.
He's 41 years old, never moved out of his parents' house, and he calls into the Howard Stern show and does voiceover stuff and plays crazy music. And then this asshole grew up with him. They worked together at
Roy Rogers.
Too crazy.
Yeah. Tony, you're constantly, dude, you're an onion. Constantly showing us different things.
I'm an onion and I will make you cry.
Hey, don't you know Flea?
Possibly.
That one's, I'm going to go with no on that one. If you want to talk about that right now, I'm going to go with no. Because we heard a recent podcast, Mark Maron podcast, that Flea and actually the guitarist of
Robert Trujillo.
The new bassist of Metallica.
No, he's been there 10 years.
Air quotes on the word new.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's no Cliff.
Replacing Jason Newsted.
Right.
Who was also no Cliff.
Exactly. Metallica isn't even Metallica anymore without Cliff.
Yeah.
I can't. You want to? I was hoping we would get into this little discussion really quick, because all right, I feel like you don't give enough credit to Jason Newsted, man, because that Black album's fucking awesome.
But here's the thing: when you listen to the first 4 albums, and that's the only 4 you know, and then the Black album comes out, it's such a change and departure that you're like, dude, this sucks. But if that was the first Metallica you ever listened to, you would think it was the greatest fucking thing on the planet. If Limp Bizkit had come out with that as their first album, you would think it's the greatest thing ever.
If Limp Bizkit came out with a Black album as their debut album, I wouldn't have written them off as a joke.
Exactly. But because
what do you say about it,
with
Nick? About Metallica?
I'm a lifelong fan. It's kind of like being a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. I'm not a fair weather fan. I've seen them in concert 5 times, a couple of those times with you, Bobby, and they are an amazing live band, and I'm really, really hopeful for an amazing album because I know they're in the studio right now, and I really, really like their most recent album, Death Magnetic.
Dude, I'm in the same. I'm in the same.
Here's a funny thing. I saw that at MSG a couple years ago when they were on the Death Magnetic tour.
Yeah. And
they did not play anything after the Black album when they were promoting Death Magnetic.
They know what to play to please the crowds.
Exactly. Everybody wants to hear the world shit.
Once again, you're a naysaying prick. You always do that. There's a theme. Always, always, always. Why do you have to be?
Here you go with the prick again.
You call yourself a purist.
You want a prick, don't you?
And I just ate a banana. You call yourself some kind of purist.
I'm a traditionalist. I'm old school.
You always want, dude. how can you say that Metallica hasn't been Metallica since Cliff? He was awesome. Yes, he's a great bassist, but
Cliff
they still come out. They still
Rise of
come out
Lightning,
with
Master of
awesome
Puppets,
shit.
and Justice for All.
They still come out with awesome shit still.
Yeah,
I am
Cliff wasn't on Justice.
He wrote it though. And then after they ran out of his material, that's when they changed their style.
He only has songwriting credit on one song.
Yeah, but Lars and James both said in interviews that he wrote it.
Maybe that's why there's no bass on that album.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you heard the people on YouTube who have gone and remastered that album to bring all the bass levels back up?
Have not.
I think they called it "And Justice for Jason."
Dude, I want to hear it.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I want to hear it, man. That's bullshit. Don't you think that's total bullshit? Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weird production things going on in that album. I have a theory that they actually sped it up in post processing, because if my guitar is perfectly in tune with my tuner, and I try and play along with that album, there's something not matching. Like I think they actually sped it up just a little bit in post.
Wow. You know, that's an interesting theory, Nick, and I give credit to it, given that it's you who came up with it. But anyway, let's get into some music, man. This next track is by the Australian punk rock band The Decline, who we featured back on episode 22 of the podcast. We interviewed lead singer Pat as he munched on a Vegemite sandwich. This next track is off their 2015 release called Resistor, which dropped back in June. Here's The Decline with their track, I Don't Believe, on Dying Scene Radio. You all right, man?
I'm all right.
All right. You're coming back, right?
We gotta speed things along, I think.
Oh, shit. What? All right.
Beth and the kids are just like
back?
killing time. I had them get out of the house, but since we started late,
all right.
now they're like killing time.
All right. That right there was Canadian punk act Black Cat Attack with their track Conquer, Destroy, Exterminate. We featured those guys back on episode 24 of the podcast. Bob Noxious had them in studio, literally, no air quotes required this time, inside of his smelly garage in Tampa, Florida. Dave Brown Sound Bash, which was in a major punk rock news story last year when he officially rejoined Sum 41. So I wanted to mention that. The news broke with Bash, who joined the band on stage at the Alternative Press Music Awards to play a handful of their classics, including In Too Deep and Fat Lip. It was really crazy because we were talking about that, and it was like the next day. Like we had dropped the podcast, and it was like the next day. I think actually I have a theory, man, that it had something to do with that, because I brought up Sum 41 and shit and asked all kind of inappropriate questions from the safety of my in-studio, up here in Connecticut. And then they were down there in Bob's Smelly Garage in person. And so I felt free to say stupid shit to them anyway. But I was asking about that, about rejoining and everything like that. And he was just being, very vague. And then boom, like 2-3 days later, he rejoined Sum 31 at the fucking awards. So, but anyway.
Speaking of bands that wouldn't exist without Metallica.
Do you think?
Sum 41.
They just were in the news this week recently because they launched a crowdfunding campaign to support the release of their follow-up record to 2011's Screaming Bloody Murder. But this new album is gonna be the band's first album with Dave Brown Sound Bash on guitar since 2004's Chuck, and their first release with Darren Pfeiffer from Goldfinger on drums. So, anyways, before that track. Yeah, that's awesome. Before that track, anyways, was that track right there. Before that one was from Mr. Brown Sound's now side project band Black Cat Attack, and we played a track called "Broken Lines" by the British punk act. Wait, let me reread that. Anyways, before that track from Mr. Brown Sound's now side project band Black Cat Attack, we played a track called Broken Lines by the British punk act Templeton Peck, who was also featured on episode number 24. That was the second interview of that episode. They released their latest record, New Horizons, back in July of last year. And prior to that, we played a track by the Italian-Russian female-fronted punk band Svetlanas, who are currently recording a new record with Nick Oliveri on guitar. That track right there was called Cry Me a River off their record Naked Horse Rider, which dropped back in May on Altercation Records. The album was produced by Blag Dahlia of the Dwarves, who we interviewed this year as well.
Yes.
We featured those guys back on episode 23, along with the dudes responsible for the second track in that set. Chaos Delivery Machine. That track right there was God of Prey, which is off their first follow-up after a decade, Burn Motherfucker Burn. That's what it's called. Pennywise's Fletcher Draghi plays bass in that band, along with Justin Thirsk on drums and vocals. Justin is Jason Thirsk's younger brother. Jason being the original bass player in Pennywise, the guy who wrote Bro Him. And he's the only Pennywise member who autographed my About Time poster back in 1995 at their Janus Landing concert in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida. So,
I was there with you.
You were?
Yeah, I was at that concert. They were on tour with The Joy Killer.
Oh, my God, that's right. That's right.
Damn, that's a long time ago.
It was. But Fletcher and Justin co-hosted that episode right there. And they joined us in studio with their quotes, man, from Hermosa Beach, California. That was awesome.
I love the air quote in studio. You gotta love the technology. It makes all this stuff so much easier, man.
It's amazing, dude. And people are in bands and they don't even live in the same state. They live in Boy Sets Fire, who we interviewed, Nathan
Boy
Gray.
Sets Fire yourself?
Anyway, they all live in like a cul-de-sac together, but one band member lives in fucking Germany.
What is it with you and Sack?
Okay, you fucking crazy stupid bastard. We got to move this along.
I live on a cul-de-sac.
Nick's family is on the way home, and they're pausing before we get this done. Anyway.
Okay. Endless love and support.
In a recent, let me just, Nick, please, I'm going as fast as I can here. I'm going to hurry up. I got to mention a little bit of news from 2015, though. One big news story that happened this year was that Tom DeLonge was replaced by Matt Skiba of Alkaline Trio in Blink-182. So whatever your feelings about pop punk and all this shit, and I know this fucking purist negative bastard is going to have something to say, that was a big news story, and Tom DeLonge was replaced, and Blink-182 is now going to have that Alkaline Trio influence sound sprinkled in there, and I think that's pretty interesting. It's going to be interesting to hear what that sounds like, right?
I'll listen to it. I actually liked Blink-182 like a long time ago. I don't know if you were at the show with me, Bobby. Blink-182 and Unwritten Law at the State Theater. Maybe it was like a $5 concert. That's how unknown they were then. And
I think I probably was there.
Most likely.
I don't know. I don't remember it specifically though. I remember seeing Unwritten Law though. Did they just open for Unwritten Law and then I just didn't notice it? Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Something like that. Yeah, it was an awesome show.
Also in the news in 2015, Brooks Wackerman quits Bad Religion and joins Avenged Sevenfold. And this was something that when I was down in Fest 14, it happened, and Ben Coletti opined about it. He loves Avenged Sevenfold.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Why?
But they suck, man. I think that's crazy that he left Bad Religion and joined Avenged Sevenfold.
I'll say I've only seen Avenged Sevenfold live one time. It was back when they still had the Rev on drums before he passed away. And I was really disappointed by how shitty they sounded live, because if you listen to their album, there are so many like multi-tracks going on with the vocals, and live they can't pull it off in concert the way they do in the studio. We were talking about Dream Theater earlier. Former Dream Theater drummer Mike Portnoy stepped in after the Rev passed away. He filled in for one album and the tour to support that album, Nightmare, which I think is their best work, and they just haven't held my attention ever since anything after that.
No kidding, man, dude, that's fucking awesome. Thank you again for the knowledge. Holy shit,
that's what I do.
Let me play some music, Nick, and then we're gonna move right along here and get the kids waiting. This next track is by some punk rock heroes of mine, Swedish skate punk legends Millencolin, who yours truly got to interview last year aboard their tour bus prior to their stop in Brooklyn. We got to speak about Frankie D. It's good to remember those who are no longer with us. This is off their 2015 record, True Brew, which was released back in April 2015, man. This is Millencolin. With their track off their new record. Here's their tune, Believe in John, on Dying Scene Radio.
What kind of shit happened on their tour bus there, Bobby?
Hold on 1 second. Let me come back. Ready? That right there was a track called Maps by California punk act Sick Waiting. The worst name in the world. Or at least that's how lead singer Jared described it to me when I featured them on episode 35 of the podcast. I interviewed Jared prior to the band's New York City stop. We spoke in my mobile studio with air quotes, mom's car on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Just outside of New York hardcore tattoos.
Yes.
Ain't that right, Loki?
That is correct.
That's right. That track came off their 2015 release, Derailer. Now, Nick and me, were you saying something before we went to music? I couldn't talk over all that music, man. Were you saying something about Millencolin?
You got to interview them on their tour bus. I just want to know if you have any anecdotes, anything crazy happened on the bus.
Anecdotes. No, nothing happened on the tour bus, man.
Didn't you take a shit on the tour bus? So they beat you up and threw you off?
Yeah, what is that? That's the unwritten rule, right?
That's messed up. Isn't it a Bobby Pickles expression? If you take a shit on another man's toilet, you better be prepared to wash his dishes.
No, that's Ben Coletti. That's a Ben Coletti quote. Yeah.
I thought it ended up on a Fat Enzo t-shirt.
Never shit in another man's bathroom unless you're prepared to wash his dishes. Don't shit in a man's bathroom unless you're prepared to wash his dishes. Anyway. So before that song, we played a track by Stupid Martini's band, The Money Shot. We featured them back on episode 34. Martini, another good friend of mine, he co-hosted the show.
Ours.
Actually, in studio.
I think it's pronounced The Money Shot.
The Money Shot, Thee, yeah. We conducted that show in person, actually, in Jersey City. And that track is called Lady Killer off the band's 2015 release, Hard Rock. And finally, the second track in that set is by British folk punk or polka funk artist Frank Turner, who was gracious enough to grant us a nearly hour-long interview, which was featured on episode 30 of the podcast. And that track was called Silent Key, Frank's 2015 release Positive Songs for Negative People, which dropped back in August. I chose that track because it's about the Challenger disaster, which I saw with my very own 5-year-old eyes. So,
do you remember it?
Yes, I do remember it. I remember seeing it, going outside. All the kids went outside to watch the Challenger go up. It exploded, and then we all went inside, and then we huddled down and we were saying a prayer, like in a circle. So,
wow.
Yep. We were 5 or 6 years old or something, man. Whatever that was. I think it was, what was it, 1986?
It was a week after my birthday.
It was April. Oh, no, my birthday's in April,
yeah.
So I was 5, yeah. I had it right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had just turned 11 a week before.
Yeah, you don't remember it, Nick? Nick's a year younger than me, so, right?
That's true.
Even though you were,
yeah.
Then when you went to high school, you were in Ricky's grade, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So you don't remember it? You were too young? Where the fuck were you? You were in the ghetto, man, right?
I was born and raised in St. Petersburg, Florida.
But that was like the total ghetto, the pink streets, even though you didn't live in a bad house or anything. But
it was all right. It was all right in the 80s.
Didn't you go to public school down there in downtown St. Pete?
I went to a few different schools on the south side of St. Pete.
Yeah. I told you about the south side, right?
Yeah.
Talking to them like...
Yeah, you told me about the shit side. I mean, south side.
No, man. I mean, it's just like a lot of segregation and stuff, Florida or whatever. And definitely see it there.
It's sad because there's so much great potential, and a lot of the communities are just run down.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
All right, getting into some news from 2015, man. This is the last of it. Fat Records, dude. They celebrated their 25 years in 2015, which was actually 24 years. It was a marketing ploy, man, by Fat Mike. and they went on a huge tour and played a whole bunch of different venues all over the United States with all these different Fat Wreck lineup bands, and they even went to Japan and played a show or two. So, but what were you gonna say? And it was technically 24 years. Yeah, he did a interview with Q. There's a show called Q. It's like a Canadian podcast show.
Okay.
And he talked about it. Then it was technically 24 years, but nobody questioned it. He said, actually. And that fucked up, man.
No one questions Fat Mike.
Fat Wrecked for 25 years. The Flatliners, Mass Intruder, Toy Guitar, Bad Cop, man, Lagwagon. We interviewed Joey Cape this year also.
What a punk rock thing to do, though. We've been around for 24 years. Hey, here's our 25th tour.
Yep. In recent, it is a punk rock thing to do. You're right about that, Nick. And Bob Noxious has a great punk rock story about, NoFX's Fat Mike. Do you remember that by any chance? Have you ever heard of that one?
Bob Noxious's story about Fat Mike?
Yeah.
No.
Sum it up really quick. His band Pigpen back in the day, it was like 1996 Warped Tour. He was playing the Warped Tour actually, and he went up to Fat Mike and he handed the CD to him. He goes, "Fat Mike, I just want to, hey, I'm Bob. This is my band Pigpen. This is our new record." And then Fat Mike took it and was like, "Hey, Bob, how you doing, man? Oh, this is your band. Pigpen's the name. You guys seem like you're gonna go far, real far." And then he chucked the CD.
What a dick.
Yeah. That's awesome. But that's a punk rock thing to do, man. And anyway, another punk rock icon guy, Henry Rollins, was recently in the news. I want to just mention this is the last kind of new headline from around the Christmas holidays. Henry Rollins was in the Seasonal Spirit, and he was on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. I don't know if you guys saw this.
No.
But
I've been meaning to watch it.
Yeah, he teamed up with the show's host to deliver a festive cover of Carol of the Bells, and the pair complete with matching personalized Christmas jumpers. And you can watch the performance on DyingScene.com. You can find it, Nick. So if you need to see it, Nick, go to DyingScene.com and you can see it.
I will go to DyingScene.com and I'll look at it and then I'll say, "Oh, look at that."
No problem. He also did.
He's got a movie coming out.
That's right. That's what he was promoting. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, he did a spoken word thing in the city a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But no,
I didn't know about it until that day. Otherwise, we would have gone.
Yeah.
To see exactly what it was about, because he was apparently doing pictures with everybody.
Thanks for telling me, you piece of shit.
I told you as soon as I found out. Like an hour before he was going on.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
But
you were probably fucking high, you stupid fuck.
The movie that's coming out is called He Never Died, and in it he portrays Cain, as in Cain and Abel. It's like,
really?
2000.
Pro wrestler Cain?
No. So it looks pretty intense and pretty brutal. Should be a good flick.
I sent him an email about doing the podcast. He responded actually, like 2 days ago.
Really? Awesome.
And but he just said, "Hey Bobby, hello. I'm taking off I'm about to jump on a plane to go do shows outside of America." That was it. So,
I'll contact you when I get back.
Well, he didn't say that. I mean, but
all right, so
I hope it's not a complete blow off.
It's a blow off.
But you think?
Yeah. He didn't say when he was coming back. He didn't say he was going to get back in contact with you, right?
No.
He blew you off. He was just being nice.
Yeah?
What do you think, Nick?
Well, at least he was being nice and didn't take your demo CD and hurl it as far as he could.
That's right, man. That's right. So you know what? Whatever, man. Kudos to him. I was going to say that one of my New Year's resolutions and goals for the show this year would be to interview Henry Rollins, but that looks like that's not going to happen. Another one who does Bessie.
You hear Bessie back there?
That's right. Another one that looks like it's not going to happen is Laura Jane Grace, because she just got back to me, right? Her management just blew me off right before the show started, right?
Yeah, but at least he, she, whatever.
She.
Let's
be politically correct. We're going to get her on the show.
Okay, she.
Yeah.
I know you're going to edit this shit out anyway.
No, I'm not.
Well, then he, she, it, whatever. It was nice and said maybe when it starts to impress again.
Yeah, he was nice. They did say that we were gonna probably do it, but another New Year's resolution would be to get face to face on the show. I gotta say that because I know they're coming out with their new record on Fat Records.
Okay.
We're gonna get some maybe hire a manager, a PR person. Definitely gonna do that. I'm gonna get some field reporters. If you want to be on the show and you want to report for Dying Scene Radio, get in touch with me, Bobby Pickles at dyingscene.com, and we're gonna feature different guest hosts. We do the air quotes, man, the in studio air quotes. And if you get your own setup, we'll have you on there. Okay. All right. Anyway, some news that happened in 2015 that had zero to do with punk rock, man. Bill Cosby. Just wanted to sum that up. Did you have anything to add? Anything to say for that, guys?
I see he got arraigned the other day. That's that was so crazy for me to see because I grew up watching the Cosby Show. As a kid of the '80s, I'm sure you did as well, Bobby. He was the penultimate family man. He always had sound advice for his kids, and then you hear about all this stuff that he was up to behind the scenes. What do you think? Is he completely guilty? That's up to a jury to decide. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think he is.
Innocent until proven guilty.
You're innocent until proven guilty, man. You got to watch Making a Murderer on Netflix. Holy shit, Nick. Watch that.
I started watching it the other night. Yeah.
Oh my God. What the fuck? Innocent until proven guilty.
How many years was that guy in prison? 18?
Bro, you got to get into it more, man. You're gonna freak out. You just got to keep watching it.
Man.
All right, I basically,
imagine
dude, he stays in for 18 years
for a crime he didn't commit.
But then he apparently, allegedly, I guess, but he's actually in jail now for it. Fucking killed somebody for real.
How does that work?
But I think that it seems like he got railroaded again. There's a lot of evidence to show that he got railroaded again, and the cops all set it up. You gotta look at this. It's insane, dude. Yeah.
But if he actually did kill him, how would the sentencing work? Because he already did a stint.
Bro, he gets $400,000 because he has to settle for a measly amount because the state, set him up for whatever, or the county or whatever it was, Manitowoc County, and was in Wisconsin, I think, or wherever it was.
That's what they settled for, $400,000.
And he had to use that for his attorneys when he's charged with murder again for murdering this lady, this girl, 25-year-old girl, and they find bone fragments in his fire pit. They find her RAV4 in his junkyard or whatever, and then they find some of his blood in there, and also the key to the RAV4 in his room, in his trailer. But the key was not found on the first search, nor a bunch of other searches. It wasn't found until months later, I think, in his room when they entered again. And then they found
it all happened after he got released from prison.
And then the blood, they went into the evidence room, and from the original thing that he was got for the first time, he spent 18 years. That for that alleged rape and murder, whatever it was, or rape.
Right.
They found a vial of blood, and it had a fucking pinhole in it, like somebody had taken a syringe and taken some blood out of there. So the cops had access to his DNA. But then they did a test. The FBI comes in and does a test, which is weird because the FBI never does that. They never would fuck around. A federal thing would never come and then mess with the state. But they do in an unprecedented way to create this new test to detect if there's this chemical inside of the blood, which helps blood stay good. Because when you keep blood as evidence or whatever, you have to put this in there to make sure that the blood stays. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then they said that there was none of that detected in the blood, but it was just nuts, man. You got to see the whole thing. It's fucking crazy. Sorry for going off on a tangent, but the other thing that happened in 2015 was Bruce Jenner,
who actually wants to be a man again.
What?
Bruce doesn't want to be a woman anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Have you heard that, Nick?
Does he really? So Caitlyn wants to become a man now?
Oh, what happened?
What happened? We lost you.
I can see you.
Oh no, we got you. What'd you say?
What did he actually go on record saying that?
I saw that somewhere. I forget exactly where.
This is the guy. He's the king of reading. He just Googles something. He reads the whatever the title is of the article, and he doesn't read the whole article. So
I'm gonna need to see a source on that one.
Yeah, but anyway, that's a big thing. This is a man, and he was named Woman of the Year, right? So.
Well, I know you said Bruce Gender. Has anyone actually stolen that as a name for a punk rock band yet?
No, but somebody does need to. Maybe we can steal it for our punk rock band.
I like it.
Let's do a punk rock band called Bruce Gender, okay?
Yep.
And it's me, you, and Bob fucking McManus in Boston. We could do it all like this in studio with air quotes, right? And it'll be no problem. I'm gonna write all the words because I'm a writer and I'm horrible at bass guitar. Okay, maybe you'll give me a chance to play my measly shitty bass. Maybe not. You'll put it together too musically, and you'll do it with the great techniques that you can contribute. And Bob will sing because Bob is a hell of a singer, man, and he's also a hell of a guitar player. He actually.
Hey, I'm Bob McManus, and you're listening to Bruce Gender.
On Dying Scene Radio. That's right, dude. So, anyway, speaking of Bruce Gender and all this crap, man. Can you get off of that? We're finishing. This is the outro. Speaking of all that shit, the transgender stuff that was big in 2015, I figure we go out with another song, the third song in the playlist that comes from a band we actually did not feature, but we hope to feature Laura Jane Grace, okay, at some point in 2016. But this video went viral of Laura Jane Grace performing True Trans Soul Rebel with Miley Cyrus. So,
hey, hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, we're gonna end right now.
I gotta open the garage real quick.
Okay.
Hold up.
All right. What does it say? You're only showing me fucking Google searches. You only show Google searches. Okay, now you're opening up actually an article. Are you looking at pictures or actually reading? All right, so anyway, while Bessie chirps, let's go into some music, man. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Nick, thank you so much for being on the fucking podcast, man. I love it. Let's do that track by Laura Jane Grace that went viral last year. Track appears on the band's latest album, Transgender Dysphoria Blues, which was released back last year as well. It's been a breakout year for Laura Jane Grace, man. On Mark Maron show, what the fuck with Mark Maron? He had an AOL documentary. This is Laura Jane Grace featuring Miley Cyrus with True Trans Soul Rebel on Dying Scene Radio. Happy New Year, everybody. Fucking adios. Do you want to say adios too, you scumbag, Tony?
Nick, thank you. Bobby, fuck you. Everybody, love you.
Hey, Bobby.
All right,
Bobby,
adios,
Tony. It's been
Nick.
great. Thanks for letting me co-host with you guys, and here's to a happy 2016.
Again,
Rock on.
What did you say, Nick?
Bobby, Tony, thanks for letting me hang out with you guys
At
and
least he's
co-host
recording,
this episode.
Hold on a second.
You good?
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Hello?
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Now I hear you.
Bobby, Tony, thanks for letting me hang out with you guys over the last hour. And
all right, say hello to the kids for me, man. Tell them Uncle Bobby says hello. All right?
I will. Hey, yeah, thanks for letting me co-host the episode, and here's to a happy 2016.
That's right, man. Looking forward to knowing you for 21 years.
My condolences, Nick.
Thank you.
The year of the monkey. Year of the monkey, motherfucker. Adios.
Later.
Okay, hey, so now, Nick, stop your thing, and I'm going to stop this broadcast.